This is one of them. It's a stemless wine glass. And here is another one I created. This was a font that I used in Design Space. So that's another one that I did, and I added a little bit of glitter to it so it wasn't just always so simple. And then I have, to get started, really you want a glove, and that's not going to be used until I rinse off the etching cream. Then I have this etching cream, and I did leave a link to the Amazon where you can buy it. It is not a cheap product, and mine is only the 2.8, but 2.8 ounces, but it does last a long time. So this is the etching cream I will use. And then you'll need like a little paintbrush. As you can see, this is one of my kids' paintbrushes, but it works just fine. And I use the paintbrush to brush on the etching cream. And this is Oracle 651. This seems to work the best. Now with my signature, my E's, the insides aren't consistent because this is actually how I sign. So this one came in okay, but this one didn't. It was really small. So I just decided, I made a conscious effort to remove both of the insides. So that's why it looks like that. And then a ruler. You always want some sort of ruler to do some measurements. And then my scraper. And this is the two glasses that I will be adding etching to. I'm going to set them to the side till I'm ready for it. This right here is my glass and cup holder, and I love it. And I actually left the link in the description. I have a YouTube now that's out that shows you how to make this from home. It's DIY, probably, I think it was less than $10 to make. Really cool. So this helps me a lot to keep things in place. But I'm going to put it to the side just for now. Is you take the Oracle 651 and your transfer paper. What works for me is the magic cover. This can get purchased at like the Dollar Tree or even Walmart. But if you're lucky, you can get it from the Dollar Tree. I actually had to order a case because they were always out. So I take it off, and then you see the weeding. So this is going to be my stencil. And I cut a little bit short on this side normally, and I cut it on the Joy. And so it literally cuts it up to the edge. So I probably should have added a little bit more, but that's okay. Or I could have moved it over, but it's fine. I'll just make sure I'm very aware of it. So I put my transfer paper on. Then I take the scraper. I'll do a scrape. Then I'll turn it around and I'll just do another scrape on this side because I want it to come off. And there, look how easily that peels. So I'm going to take that and kind of put it to the side. Next thing you want to do is you want to prepare your glass. Now what I do is, and I did this ahead of time. I took off the sticker. This glass came from the Dollar Tree. Go to the Dollar Tree, get your glasses. They work just fine. I love drinking water actually out of my stemless wine glass. So peel off the sticker, clean it, wash it, and then prep it. I do not use alcohol when I'm etching. I do not use alcohol when I am etching. The reason why is because it seems to come out a little faded. I don't know if anybody else had that experience, but with me, when I use alcohol, it doesn't come out as nice. So I just do a nice little clean. And then it has a little bit of watermarks. You can't really tell in the video, but I'll just kind of buffer it out. So once I have it on my cup holder, for this one, I think I want it to go like right in the center. Let me move it up a little bit more so you guys can see. So when you're doing this, and what I like about this is it moves. Now, sometimes when you're dealing with wording, you can cut right here and cut right there. That way you can move it around the curve more. But I'm comfortable with using this. Again, it's a signature, so I'm okay if it curves just a little extra. But those are just some other things that you can keep in mind. So what you do is you start, when you lay it down, put it in the center first, then you're going to go outward. So let me see. Just start right in the center, like I said. and then you're going to press it, and then you're just going to kind of go outward. And I use my fingers on this one, and then I just lightly, just in case I do want to move it around more, I can adjust it. So now I'm just kind of pressing down, making sure I do get the inside of my L, because I do want those there. And then I want to make sure I have no bubbles, at least no bubbles around where I'm going to have the etching cream so it can leak. So on this glass I made myself, I'll show it in just a second. There's a little bit of leaking, and I'll show you. And so every time you do this, you get better at it. So now, like I said, I'm just kind of pressing, and I'm working my way from the inside to the out. So I already worked the right side. Now I'm working the left side. And then just pressing it down. And then I'll bring it up closer once I get a little bit more comfortable with the outcome. Then I'll bring it up. Okay. So now that I have this, hope you guys can see that. Now I really want to start pressing down where I'm going to etch at, because I don't want it to leak. Again, if you don't do this part, you will get some that will bleed through. So when I say leak, it means bleeding through. So now I'm just going over, trying to make sure there's like no bubbles or nowhere where it's leaking. Everybody see my little afro? I made that in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. Because I make all my SVGs, or, well, yes, all of them in Illustrator. Because you cannot make them in Design Space and export them. Keep that in mind. That's why I never design if I'm going to reuse something in Design Space. Only for quick stuff, quick print and go. Okay, so now that's good. See how I'm pressing down? I have nails, so with my nails, it makes it a little bit easier. But if you don't, you can use your scraper. But I found that I want to feel and make sure that everything is good to go. So after that, I kind of press it down. Now I can take it off. And I don't really do so much or care too much about getting the entire vinyl stencil down. Again, this is Oracle 651 I'm using. And then I just take it off so you guys can see. And it should not come up. Like, it better not come up. Then I go slow. I never really tear anything off, because that can be a disaster. So again, when you're crafting, you do have to have just a little bit of patience. Not too much, but just a little. So see how this has like a bubble? I don't care, because it's away from where I'm going to be etching. I could just kind of move it a little bit away, but it's not that big of a deal, because most importantly, I want to make sure that there's no bubbles around where I'm going to actually etch. Now, I mentioned earlier, if you get that to bleed through, let me show you if you guys can see. See right there at that E? See how thin that line is? It bled through it. So we want to avoid that and hopefully not have that happen here. So what I'm going to do now is take my paintbrush and my etching cream. And then I just kind of like stir it up just a little bit. Not too much. I don't need a glove yet. I save the glove until I rinse off. So what I do is I take like a kind of like a blob of it. I just kind of start from the left and work my way right, and I go quick. So I'm going to glance at the time, and it says 1 to 3 minutes. I typically go more towards the 3 to 4 minutes. I just take that extra risk. But hey, so this part I'm going to go kind of quickly. I like what it's looking like. So I'm going to set it to the side, and I'll be aware of the time while I prep the other one. Then I'll just kind of put the cream, because I'm going to do 2. And like I said, this is the 2.8 ounce Armour Etch, and you can easily get that on Amazon. And so for the next one that I'm prepping, I'm just kind of cleaning it off some. This one has glitter, so I want it to have a little bit of sparkle. You take your transfer paper, let me push that to the side, and you put it on your stencil. And the stencil I'm using is Oracle 651. And I put the link to a 63 pack, which is a kind of a good deal on Amazon. It was one of the deals that I actually used, and I have so many colors that it's lasted me for years. I don't know how long I've had this Oracle 651, but it's been a while. So I'm almost done with the other etching cream, and it looks like I have enough time just to place this, and then we'll remove the other one. So again, I kind of eyeball where I would want it to go. Start in the center, press down, and then kind of work my way to the side. One side, I'm going to the right, and then it doesn't really matter which side you go to first. You just kind of press it down. Again, work from the center and go outward. Work from the center and go outward. Then after you do that, you need to make sure there's no bubbles around the name where I'm going to be adding the etching cream because we don't want it to bleed. All right. And the other one is ready. And this one has just got done. And again, I don't really care if it lays down on the sides. Matter of fact, I don't, because I want to lift it up easily. So I just nicely take it off and slowly and hold my breath just a little bit. Okay, so that one is just about ready. Okay, is I'll take my sprayer and then I'm going to rub it off. See how it's coming off? Okay, good. When I use that, it's pretty quickly. I'm just going to peel it off. All right, let me dry it off so you can actually see. The etching, it's still kind of wet, but you can see it did take. There we go. Let me see if you guys can. I need a dark color so you can really see it. But there it goes. Has my signature on it, Nhia Lee, just like the other one. Right there. I'm gonna set it to the side because it's about that time for the other one. And if you can see it, there it is, Nhia Lee. But it still shows up pretty decent.